Presents an imaginative day of artist expression, April 18th starting at 3 p.m. Enjoy Louisiana artists and musicians like Damon Batiste. This is a 21 and up event. General admission is $50 with tables available for purchase. Come experience the culture.
Hey, did you know Long's Products is a family-owned janitorial supply with mops, brooms, trash bags, and they even have food service disposables, carry-out plates, and to-goes? Check us out.
Good afternoon, Central Louisiana, and specifically those residents over there in the big booming metropolis of DeRidder, Louisiana. We're going to welcome you to the Let's Talk. We're afternoon right now here on Urban Cast. I'm going to be your host this afternoon. Before we get started, we want to remind everyone to get out there, go check their voter registration status. Nearly 500,000 voters across Louisiana have been moved to the inactive roles. If you don't take action, you could eventually be purged from the list. All you got to do to check that status is to go out to www.govote.com. We also want to thank our silver sponsor, Acadian Ambulance, for supporting community conversations across Central Louisiana. This afternoon, we're covering DeRidder's mayor's race, and we're joined right now with Mayor Michael D. Harris. For those watching live, drop your questions or comments over there in the comments. We may bring them into the conversation. Mayor Harris, welcome to the show. We'll start by giving you the opportunity to introduce yourself to our audience and all that kind of good stuff. And I see you're on the road there, so we're so glad you're joining us, sir.
Oh, yeah, Jack. First of all, thank you for the invitation and the opportunity to actually talk to the citizens of the great city of DeRidder. Appreciate you, man.
Mhm.
I'm born and raised in DeRidder, joined the military. I served in the National Guard, Army Reserves, active duty, graduated Northwestern, a bachelor's, got commissioned at Northwestern, have a master's degree from Northwestern State University. DeRidder's my home, born and raised. And I'm excited to serve the people that I've always loved.
Okay. Well, yeah, why are you seeking another term? I know you went to a partial term, but why are you seeking this new term?
Jack, we started well. We started well, but we have to finish. There's a lot more work to be done. I came in on the tail end of another mayor's term, and I had to operate with that budget in a short period of time. Right now, approximately 11 months, I've been mayor of the city of DeRidder, and I see that the city is buying into the changes. The city is buying into the path forward, and because of that buy-in, I know there's nothing we cannot do.
Mm-hmm. You highlighted several accomplishments in this short period of time that you've been mayor. What is it that you're most proud of, sir?
Actually, I'm proud of the momentum. I'm proud of the people of DeRidder believing that change is good. I was born and raised there, and before 11 months ago, I didn't see the bridges painted. I painted every bridge in town using that final budget because I want people to be proud. I put a mural on the corner of 171 and Washington Street that simply says, DeRidder, Louisiana, a place to call home. I put a walking trail on South Washington Street, and that walking trail was just a field when I took office. And on the bathroom of that walking trail, simple: love your city. All this is in an effort to make people realize how wonderful DeRidder is, and we should love our hometown. We've gone through a lot, and we're still going through a lot. And together, we're going to come out of this thing that we're in, and we're going to be even better. I knock on doors, I talk to people, I have long conversations, and they tell me their concerns, and I listen. So we're going to continue to move forward.
You mentioned increasing revenues and improving city finances. How How did you accomplish that, and how will you build on it as you move forward?
So, Jack, it's no secret that when I took office, I did not have a city attorney. The city attorney, I did not have one when I took office. So I had to operate on instincts and my military training. My military training teaches me that when you go in somewhere new, the first thing you want to do is check the books for accountability. Make sure things are straight. Check to see the items that you have on your hand receipt. Make sure these numbers match the numbers that's supposed to be there. So we did an audit on the finances, realized that we had millions of dollars in a bank account that was not accruing the amount of interest I knew we can get. I made the decision to call all the local banks and tell them, hey, if you want some of this money, give me your best interest rate. And now we're doing business with nearly every bank in town, and with an interest rate of 4%, which is over 3% more than we had initially. So that saved the city hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that was within the first 3 days.
First 3 days. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. Infrastructure is a major concern, across Louisiana. What progress has been made, and what still needs to be done? And um, specifically, I want to talk about. I think there's a big problem there in DeRidder as it relates to the water systems in DeRidder. Could you speak to that for us?
Well, the water systems in the river they're annotated. That's just the facts. Um, I've only been in office now 11 months, but the water systems have been there since the 60s and 70s in some cases. But within my 11 months, we have replaced metal pipes in Twin Lakes, which is one of the oldest neighborhoods in the city, with PVC pipes. We have started the project of finding out what was the issue with Green Acres. See, no one talked about Green Acres until I put that target in my crosshairs. And the reason I did is when I was knocking on doors, I listened to what those citizens of the river had to say. And they all complained about the water. They complained about the price. They complained about the quality. KPLC came out. And so when people say they didn't know about it, KPLC came out and did a special about the water. And one woman in particular showed how she put the towel up under the water, and her towel was turquoise. A white towel turned turquoise right there before our eyes. If you don't have to believe me, it's all substantiated in the KPLC Green Waters. Go check it out yourself. So for all these years, all these guys had opportunities to do something. There was one time when the guy who owned the system tried to sell it to the city, and the city said no. They didn't think it was cost effective. But see, I'm a combat officer, okay? I served in combat, and I would do anything to save a life. And when you look at the water, and these people are telling you that the water is not good, and it's not passing a lot of the tests, hey, that concerns me as their mayor. So I asked everyone, hey, would you come and assist me? As a matter of fact, one of the candidates actually sit at a meeting that I called at the front desk to hear the concerns of the people. But is that candidate coming to support me to get it done? Well, time will tell. But I promised them this. I would not stop until we get it done. We did not get in this thing overnight, and we would not get out of it overnight. But I guarantee them I'm going to do everything I can to help us get out of it. So I started communications with Magnolia. The guy who had it before, God bless him, but my concerns is with Magnolia, the one who has it now. I'm a forward thinker. And if you look at the last 11 months to now, we got a lot of stuff done. And the city of DeRidder see it. And every time I go knock on the door and I have conversations with these guys right around DeRidder, look in their yards, their front yards, you'll see my sign. Because these guys are supporting DeRidder moving forward. And my job is to be transparent and to move forward.
You worked on economic development and partnerships. How do you plan to continue growing the Ritter's economy? And specifically, Mayor, can you speak to the point? I know you guys lost two major organizations there in DeRidder. So how do you replace those jobs that were there? I know Fort Polk is a big part and they play a big part up here in Alexandria as well. But how do you move that, and how do you mitigate some of those losses?
Okay, so keep in mind, we did lose those two major businesses, major contributors to our economy, but that was before my time. During my time, I have now established a great relationship with Fort Polk. I was at General Corl's house maybe 3 weeks ago with the Command Chief of Staff, General George, who works in D.C., a four-star general, and we talked about Fort Polk. We talked about Fort Polk being there and Fort Polk being resilient. And my job is to keep Fort Polk there. That's one of the things that I have on my radar. Keep Fort Polk there so we can have jobs for our people. Now, as far as businesses coming to our city, I'm talking to a company and I've shared with them 386 acres that we have inside the city limits, with the capacity, with the electrical capacity and the water that they need to come to DeRidder and offer better jobs. And I'm not talking, and it's nothing against McDonald's. I thank God for McDonald's because it helps our young people earn an honest check and to take care of things. But we need businesses that's going to come to town with good benefits, and people can afford to buy houses and can afford to develop generational wealth, and not allow the people in leadership to give contracts to their buddies and friends and homeboys, you know. So it comes with economic development, comes with people working together to get businesses to realize that DeRidder is open for business. And I will tell you, 11 months ago, they couldn't say that. But now they're repeating what I said. And you know why? Because I'm a leader. And that's what leaders do. We lead.
Okay. Workforce development and job creations are key. You kind of alluded on it there. What opportunities do you see for residents moving forward?
So DeRidder is positioned just north of Lake Charles, just south of Fort Polk. Lake Charles right now, LNG, that company is huge. Billions and billions of dollars right there, right down the street from us. We have people now that is actually driving from DeRidder to Lake Charles. But I've also been talking to Marshall Simeon, Lake Charles's mayor, and the LED, Louisiana Economic Development Committee, down there at the Seed Center. And we are looking for businesses to come down to our city so our children can come home. And right now, you know, college is great. It really is. But you can make a good living being a welder. You can make a good living being a plumber. You can make a good living being a truck driver. That's why I have, within my 11 months, Coastal Truck Driving School has a CEA with us, with my signature on it, to come to DeRidder and start a truck driving school right there in DeRidder. So we are moving forward.
You've emphasized community programs and youth initiatives. How important are those to your administration?
Community buy-in is very important. You have to show yourself friendly. I started the mayor's youth job training, which last summer we employed 9 young people at our high school so they can learn how to work. They can learn the value of a dollar. They can have a paycheck in their name and understand the importance of earning and saving. I started the Mayor's Youth Council. Our young people have to be involved in local governments. I've assisted Mayor Watkins in our way with starting his Mayor Youth Council. And we're going to get our young people together so they can talk and learn. In order for our young people to move forward, the seniors, the leaders, have to give them a direction and clear guidance. And that's what I'm here for.
Mm-hmm. Juvenile crime is a concern in many communities across. And I understand, DeRidder crime rates are not. As a matter of fact, y'all on the opposite side of the spectrum in some cases. What proactive steps would you take to prevent youth from entering into the criminal justice system?
It all goes back to relationships. A guy by the name of Sir Robert Peel, he's known as the father of modern day policing. He developed the term cops, constables on patrol. This guy says that community policing is a path of the future. It is a path forward. So we understand that the kids have to know who the police are, and the police has to know who the young people are. And by that communications and them working together, they develop a relationship. So I encourage our police officers, you see kids at the basketball court, stop, give them some Gatorade, have a conversation, give them your card, give them some water. Hey, shoot around with them. Let them know that you are people too and not to be afraid of you. But when you develop that relationship, if something happens in that community, now you have a partner that'll give you a phone call.
As a follow-up to that question, I got a question that came in from the audience out here. They say, are you collaborating with the school board to get this done?
I've been working with the school board since I've came back home. And yes, the school board has always been part of what I do. I have the key to our DeRidder Junior High because of AAU basketball. I'm a member of YCP in Alexandria. I have a kid that just graduated. Well, he graduated last year. He has a job and he's doing great. I had another one to graduate the year before last. So when it comes to our young people and our educational system, I've always been a part of it. I go to the alternative school and I speak to those kids. I speak life to them because just because they're not with the regular population of the school does not mean that they're not somebody. So I do speak to them, and working with the school board that we have, we're going to continue to move our city forward.
Okay, something that's really important to us over here at UrbanCast is transparency and accountability. And transparency and accountability are major concerns for voters out there. How will you ensure the public is fully informed about the decisions that are being made at DeRidder City Hall?
Hey, Jack, so when I ran for office the last time, I promised the public that I would be transparent with the ongoing projects. So I put a monitor in our lobby. If you go in our lobby, you will see a monitor with all the ongoing projects in every neighborhood. When they start, projected date when they're finished, where we are on those projects. So everybody would understand what is going on in our city. I do FaceTime videos walking downtown in areas that's being rebuilt and areas that need some attention. I showed them the issues and let them know, hey, this is an issue. But guess what? You got the men that can fix it. Because when I took office, High School Drive was a pothole filled road. It was just terrible. If you take a look at it now, since I've been in office, it's done with dragon steps all the way up to the high school. If you just take a moment just to think about it, 11 months, and I've got Clico, our hospital, Bourgard Electric, restaurants to buy into a walking trail that was not there in 11 months. Imagine the next 4 years.
And for us in the media world, Mayor, it's really important that, we communicate with the public. And in some places that we go, communication get met with resistance, and media can be an extension. Because, the reason why we're talking to you today is because the citizens down there in DeRidder said, hey, y'all need to talk to our mayoral candidate. A little UrbanCast right here in Alexandria. We're talking to folk down there in DeRidder and they're listening. So that's why we're here today. So it's important that we have the ability to, to communicate with the citizens. And so from that perspective, what's your thoughts on both from city government, policing, and different things of that nature with having, the basic information made available to media to help reiterate that information out there to your constituents?
I'm that guy. I don't shy away from hard questions or issues. I just asked if you have something to say, come face to face and let's talk about it. Don't be anonymous and creating issues and concerns. I want to solve the problem. So, and that's why I went to Green Acres. I didn't ask Green Acres to come to me. I went to Green Acres and I had a town hall and I talked to Green Acres. First, I listened. I wanted to hear what they had to say because they matter. Although they're not on city water, they're still city citizens. And for decades, no city official, especially one that's running for office other than myself, has gone in there and called a meeting to hear what these citizens have to say. So now that I've done that, they're jumping on the bandwagon, which is okay, because that's what people do. They follow leaders. They're jumping on the bandwagon and creating issues. But guess what? I promised them that I'm going to give it all I got. And that's all I can promise them. But I got a lot to give. So if you got to get something out, go to the people. Have a conversation. I did not only have a town hall meeting there in Green Acres. I had a town hall meeting at Bryant Park. I had a town hall meeting at Veterans Park. I want people to come and hear what I have to say. Not only that, I need to hear what they have to say. If there's a problem, it has to be acknowledged to be fixed.
All right, we're going to hold you to that over here at UrbanCast from now on out. We're going to start reaching out. When the folk asking questions, we're going to reach out down there to you, Mayor. And we're going to try to help Convey the messages on over to him. That's for sure. Let me ask you this: What are your top um, if elected? What are your
Reelected.
if elected in these next 4 years? What are your in the first 100 days? What do you plan to execute in those first 100 days of this new term?
My first 100 days of this new term would actually be the continuation of what we've already started. We've started improving our roads, and if you can drive in front of my house and you'll see that the road in front of my house has not been improved in years, over a decade. If you drive in front of other candidates' houses or other people's houses, you can see those roads have been improved very recently. We have roads that's been Ellis Road is a road that should have been repaired years ago. All of the citizens are complaining about it. So that road is on my radar. We got to get that road done because the people who employ us by electing us, they want it done. And that's what we do. We work for the people. The people don't work for us. We work for them. And so my plan is to continue to move our city forward. I plan to have more things for our young people to do. The city of DeRidder, after all these years, I haven't heard one candidate say that we have a recreational tax. I'm not saying let's create another tax, but there's taxes out there that we can roll over or help to get things in our town for our kids. People say it's nothing to do here. Well, what are we doing to get something here? And I'm working on it. And I just need the people who's already bought in to continue to buy in, and we'll get things into DeRidder for our kids. And I won't stop until we do. I mean, that's my whole job, to make it better than I found it. So,
Here's another question from the audience out there. How can you collaborate with other authorities to bridge the gap to get the water issue resolved? So we're back to water on it, but based upon that was one of the main issues that made sure we reach out to you guys. And so, how would you answer that question?
well, first they have to be willing to listen. They have to be willing to address a problem that's been kicked down the road for decades. They have to be willing to ask questions and then be receptive of the questions and not be argumentative when people come in frustrated because they've been in terrible situations for so long. I have there's another councilman at large who has also come to those meetings, and he's also shared the history of that system, and also he's working with me to move the city forward. There's another councilman in that area, same thing, willing to work with me to move our city forward. Working together, we can do this thing. It's just the fighting and all the other stuff that comes along with it that doesn't have to come along with it, that kind of slows down the process. But I was talking to Magnolia the day before yesterday, and we are in agreement on how we move forward. Of course I can't say it now with these guys out here, jumping in at the last moment, but I will tell you that Green Acres, when I promised them the first time I was going to come back, I came back. I kept my word. I came back. When I told them I was going to listen to them, I kept my word. I listened to them. When I told them I was going to work for them, I kept my word. I'm working for them. And whether anyone else come aboard, I want them to come. I need them to come. I said that at the meetings. Together we can do this. But there's some people that's just not going to work, don't want to work with me. And that's their prerogative. But that doesn't mean that it won't get done.
Right. Why should voters choose to vote for you again as the mayor of DeRidder?
Hey, man, look, DeRidder's a wonderful place to live. I mean, we talk about Fort Polk, Command Sergeant Major Pena. He's the post Sergeant Major. Hey, he's going out of town to do some work, but he's going to come and move right back to DeRidder, man. That says a lot about our city and the relationship that we have established with Fort Polk. I went out and did a rug march with Sergeant Major to build the relationships. Like I said, I've gone to General Curl's house a couple times, building relationships. When they call, I answer. They will tell you they've never had this type of a relationship before. And that's because a lot of the people didn't care about Fort Polk. Apparently, that's what they were thinking. But I would tell them, you just got one who's ready to show that he cares about it. Now, whether they cared or not, I don't know. But I do know that I do enough to show up. And that's why I'm there at those meetings.
All right. Mayor, do you have anything else to say to the citizens there in DeRidder? You got our air right now to go ahead and talk to you.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
DeRidder, you made a decision to choose me to be your mayor. 11 months in, I pray that you're proud. My job was to come in office and give you something else to look forward to, something else to look at, because of all the other publicity that our city was getting. Our city is so good. It's so wonderful. It's full of great people. I couldn't do much with the budget that I had, but I tried to make it look beautiful for you. That's why we painted those bridges. And if you go right now by West Park, you see we finally got DOTD to allow us to paint the bridge on 171. But I want you to understand it's not just about the beautification of the city. It's the quality of life. I encourage our police officers to get to know you, to get out and talk to the elderly as well. Give them your card so our city can be the community that everyone dreams about. We will get new industry here, but we are a bedroom community, and people retired want to come to DeRidder. But guess what, DeRiddians? They come with the paycheck that they have earned for decades. So my job is to give them such a quality of life to where they want to go nowhere else. And with your help, on May the 2nd through the 9th, and the primary on the 16th of May, we will continue to keep the city moving forward. I love you guys, and God bless you.
Mayor Harris, we appreciate your time and your leadership, sir. And to everyone watching, again, I'm going to remind everybody to make sure you get out there and go check your voter registration status. Again, nearly 500,000 people would move to the inactive roles. And all you have to do is go out there to www.govote.com and check your status. We also want to thank our silver sponsor, Acadian Ambulance, and our business partners, Sadler's Towing, Long's Products, Nader International Market, the Threadhead Embroidery, Elegance Beauty Supply, and Old Mel's Farm. And as always, we like to thank our supporters out there, because without you guys, we wouldn't have conversations like we're having right now with Mayor Harris. I'm Jack. This is UrbanCast. Stay informed and stay engaged. Until the next time, I'm going to end the stream right now. Mayor, if you could hang in there 1 second while these commercials play, and we'll be right back.
Resonance presents an imaginative day of artist expression, April 18th, starting at 3 p.m. Enjoy Louisiana artists and musicians like Damon Batiste. This is a 21 and up event. General admission is $50 with tables available for purchase. Come experience the culture.
Hey, did you know Long's Products is a family-owned janitorial supply with mops, brooms, trash bags, and they even have food service disposables, carry-out plates, and to-goes? Check us out.